Word Wednesdays. So what are the topics that are up for discussion? It may be love, health, or career. We could discuss the struggle, your worth, or your fears. Word speaks about it all, and all are welcome to pull up a chair. I could care less about your age, race, gender, status, or geographical location. I am here to address these topics every other Wednesday. That's the word, and that's me. I know you all been waiting patiently to sit here with me and sip a cup of tea. The overall message is unity, world peace, and most importantly, LOVE. Hello everyone, and welcome to Word Wednesday. I thank you for being here with me, Nina St. Cyr. For those of you who would like to learn more about me, please feel free to visit www.writtensmith101.org. There you will find an in-depth description of who I am, what I do, and the purpose for my business. Here in Word Wednesdays, every other Wednesday, I will record a particular subject will be the highlight of each recording. And today, that particular subject is titled SelfLove. Today, we will discuss what self-love is, how to know oneself, self-awareness, and balance between loving oneself and loving others. Now, when we look at self-love, some people have many concepts of what self-love may be. Some people would describe self-love as being a state where you take care of yourself through hygiene. Some may have self-love being as a state as where you have material things and you pamper yourself, go to spas, get haircuts, things of that nature. And in some cases, yes, that is some form of self-love. However, that is not the true definition of self-love. The true definition of self-love is respect for oneself, knowing oneself, and awareness of oneself. Many people live their lives without ever knowing how to truly love themselves. Many people live their lives without actually discovering who they truly are. And they associate themselves with a number of people, and they use these people to basically figure out who they are, and they use these people as a compass. Today, we are going to talk about self-love, and that is love for oneself. My definition of self-love is to have respect for oneself, to care for oneself in a way that you would care for someone that you love. And this brings me to the topic of self-awareness and using others for validation. Some people are not aware of self, and they seek love from others only to be disappointed. Now, when you think about heartbreak, which is, a fascinating subject, and I am not going to get off of the topic. However, this topic also relates to self-love. When you look at heartbreak and you are hurt and someone has hurt you, the first emotion you feel is exhaustion. And I know you may say, why exhaustion? Wouldn't the first emotion you feel would be pain? Of course, pain is a natural feeling when someone has hurt you. However, exhaustion is also present when someone has hurt you. And the reason why you are exhausted is because you have given all of yourself to another person. Meanwhile, the person that has hurt you has given only a certain percentage. They are not as exhausted as you are. And this is why they can go on with their lives. And this is why they are able to love again. And many of you may say, oh, I love myself, and I know myself, and no one can tell me who I am. But do you really, really know yourself? Some people do not truly discover themselves until they actually fall in love with another person. And the reason for that is because you start to see the reason why you fell in love with this person. And this may be anything. Maybe you chose this person because this person was kind. Maybe you chose this person because this person was hardworking. It could be a number of reasons. However, whatever the reason may be, you love this person because this person is a reflection of you. Now, when this person disappoints you, you cannot understand why. And the first question you ask, why? Why me? What did I do? I thought we were both on the same page. When in fact, you were never on the same page. Or you were on the same page, but within different time periods. Or the page that you were on led to destruction because you didn't pay close attention to the person you were loving, or more importantly, to the person you were and you are. So when you look at self-love, you must look at balance. Before you are able to love someone else, you must first love yourself. And you must love yourself with the same intensity that you love someone else. And many people can't understand that because there's many people out there who either love with a limit or love with no limits. And there is no actual balance. And when you have no balance between the love you have for yourself and the love you have for another, you will find yourself in a very bad situation. Whether this person disappoints you in love or not, you will always find yourself in a bad situation because you will constantly look to this person for validation. You will constantly look to this person for reassurance. And you will constantly look to this person for your own identity. However, the truth is, these things that I just mentioned must already be established prior to you entering into a relationship. And this is what many people do not understand. Now, when we look at self-awareness, what do we think about? Am I aware of my faults? Am I aware of my strengths? You have some people that only examine their faults, and some people who only examine their strengths. You must constantly be aware of self on all levels. That means you must take the good with the bad. You must not only examine the good, and you must not only examine the bad. You must weigh both. Once you have an awareness of self, you will be able to discover something greater than many people have been able to discover about themselves. And that is called self-mastery. Most people, when they hear the word self-mastery, they think that self-mastery is something that's unattainable, something that's impossible, never heard of. However, self-mastery can be achieved through the awareness of self. Once you know yourself, you know what you are capable of, and you know what you are not capable of. You know what makes you happy, you know what makes you sad. The problem today is the unequal balance between the love for oneself and the love for others. I have seen a number of women and men love someone with so much intensity that they have lost themselves. And when that particular relationship does not succeed or does not reach a level that fulfills your desire, you're left stranded, lost. And if you've ever seen someone who has been hurt before and who has had their heart broken, if you look into their eyes, you can actually see that they are lost. You see the way that they function is totally different from the way they would function had they not been placed in that particular predicament. And the reason for that is because they do not have balance between self and the outside world. It is mandatory I know you guys are familiar with the saying, you cannot love anyone else until you are able to love yourself. And that is an actual true saying. And the reason why that saying is true is because if you cannot love you, how can you love someone else? How will you even know what is expected of you? How would you even know what your responsibility is to this person? You have people that love selfishly and selflessly. There is no balance. And this is why these relationships fail. Love has to start within oneself before it is shared with anyone else. Now, I would like to talk more about this topic, and I intend to in a future recording. However, I'm going to leave you with this one. And I want you to think about it. And I want you to ask yourself, do you love yourself? And most importantly, how do you show yourself that you love yourself? Because if you can turn to your mate and ask your mate, do you think I love you? And your mate can say, yeah. And then you turn to your mate and you ask them, how? How do you know I love you? Listen to the answer that your mate gives you. And ask yourself, have you been loving yourself the same way? Or have you lost yourself? If you cannot answer yes, I have been loving myself the same way, then you need to work on yourself. And you need to do it immediately. It does not matter what your living situation is, what your marital status is. What matters is you have that balance within you to be prepared for anything. So I am speaking to all people in all different marital statuses. Those who have been married for 5, 10 years, those who've been married for 1 year, who are single, those who are dating. I am speaking to each and every one of you because you are not exempt. You are not exempt. You are no exception to this rule. So I want you to think about that. And in closing, I would like to thank you for your time, your support, and your consideration. I love you all, and I pray that you are blessed and you are in the best of health and you are in the best mindset and your days are beautiful. Every single day is beautiful. I will see you in 2 weeks. Every other Wednesday, it will be a brand new topic. And I hope I hope that I have the opportunity to speak with you again. Have a good day, a good night, wherever you may be in the world, whatever your time zone may be. I am talking to you, and I appreciate you. I would just ask one thing of you: to appreciate and love yourself.